At least 12 people have been confirmed dead in water-related incidents in the Western Cape. 4 people drowned and 8 other people were electrocuted. Our reporter Ayesha Ismail tracking developments in the province, and she's joining us now just to tell us exactly what's been happening. Ayesha, a very good afternoon to you. I don't know if the rain has begun to let up. It looks like it has in parts of the Western Cape, but there's a lot of damage. There's death and destruction. Yesterday you covered this story for us, the extent of the damage, but you also brought us a very tragic story of boys who sadly lost their lives after being electrocuted.
That is correct, Dan. And the 4 boys, they were friends. They were walking to a nearby shop, and unfortunately the electric wires, it's very low hanging in the area where they live in Philippi East. And as they were walking, it is alleged that they may have touched the electrical wires and they were walking through the water, and as a result of that they were electrocuted. The boys were aged 7, 9, 10 and 11. And that was a very, very sad story to tell yesterday. But overnight we also heard about 4 other people who were also electrocuted. And this was in an area called Drift Sands, where 4 people were also electrocuted. And again, this is because of illegally connected electricity wires. I went to the area today. I saw for myself how low those wires were hanging, and also the fact that they kind of just crisscross over the water. The area is a waterlogged area. It is a wetland, and the residents that I spoke to said to me that they can't afford to buy electricity. They can't afford to pay for electricity. And so they are forced to connect these wires illegally in order for them to have power. But this is what the councillor for that area had to say to me earlier today.
As you know that people in certain areas erect structures informally, and it's not easy from City of Cape Town's perspective in order to develop those areas. Some are the wetlands, some environmentally they cannot be electrified, but people, they tend to connect them to the nearest ESCOM poles or City of Cape Town poles so that they can have power in their shacks.
And what do you think happened to these 4 people?
Yes, I think, ma'am, it might happen that their wires that they connected with were low on the ground. So when flooding happened, then it happened to the wires, got mixed, got touched with the water, and it resulted to the electrocution of those 4 members.
Oh, that's sad. Ayesha, I understand you also visited another area, Green Park, I'm told, where another person was also reportedly electrocuted there.
That is correct, Dan, and I must tell you, I was quite surprised. I was not expecting to see so much water and flooding in that area. It was quite difficult for us to walk through the area. Of course, I had my gum boots on and walked around and went into the houses to see how people were doing mopping up operations in their own area, busy, taking the water out of their structures with buckets of water, and again, looking around and seeing how people had actually connected electricity illegally to get power. And at the same time, we received a statement from ESCOM saying that, on the one hand, they would like to convey their condolences to the loved ones of those and family members of those who have lost their lives. They are saying that these illegal connections have become a scourge, and they are appealing to people to inform ESCOM and SAPS once they become aware of people doing these illegal connections, because, as they pointed out, it can be deadly. But this is what one of the residents had to say to me about a neighbor who was electrocuted yesterday.
Apparently, the guy, he didn't know there was electricity because it was bypassing where he stays. He woke up. As he woke up, there's power, and then there was electrical cable falling down into the water. Now, the rest is history. You know what happened? He just woke up, and then he stepped on the water, and then he was electrocuted like that. That's how it happened, the incident. It's very unfortunate.
Very tragic incident indeed. Ayesha, as we conclude, Ayesha, you've been covering the story, since the beginning of the flooding through the weekend. The rain, I guess, has let up a bit, but the damage is still there. Just give us a high-level state of mopping up operations, because Gift of the Givers was telling our reporter earlier, Kevin Brand, that they can't access still today some areas in the Western Cape.
That is correct. So there are still some areas, especially on the other side of Bot River, where people have since Sunday not been able to leave the area. And the Gift of the Givers, as you say, they are trying their best to get some supplies to those people. We spoke to the City of Cape Town earlier, and they're saying that they're working with NGOs to get some groceries and much needed supplies to people who are not able to leave their areas. But having said that, we also know and heard from the City of Cape Town that at least 12,000 people have been affected by the weather conditions, the severe weather conditions that started on Sunday into Monday.
And the death toll still remains at 12 at this stage, from what we know officially?
From what we know officially, but Dan must also remember that yesterday there was an accident. A Golden Arrow driver lost control of his bus, and I would imagine that may have happened because of the wet roads, and 3 people died in that accident and several were injured.
Okay, thank you very much, Ayesha Ismail. I'm sure we're going to have to get an official update from the authorities there about the death toll as the days go by. Thank you very much. Ayesha Ismail reporting to us live from our studios in Cape Town.